How's it going, friends? Right now I'm at Linden Hills Park, which is a just adorable community park. There's a wading pool, there's like a pretty sweet playground set up. There's tennis courts, baseball diamonds, community space. Very, very cool. This neighborhood park is smack dab in the middle of the Linden Hills neighborhood, which is an extremely desirable neighborhood. And that's what today's video is on, a virtual tour of Linden Hills, Minneapolis. Hit it. How's it going, my friends? My name is Jesse Lynch and I run the hardest working real estate team in the game. If you watch these videos, you already know that to be true. But you know, this YouTube channel, it's just all about helping you find a place to call home. I always say a place to land here in the beautiful Twin Cities of Minnesota. I'm pretty passionate about it. It's a great spot to live. And we help a ton of people just buy their first home here. And that's what it's all about, helping you find a home, whether you're a first-time home buyer or relocating here. And yeah, if either of those things appeal to you, then do us both a favor and subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell to get notified so you can see every time we put a video out like this. And if you wouldn't mind, give the video a thumbs up while I got you here. Say something nice, say something helpful down in the comments below, and I would appreciate that very, very much. And of course, I say this every video, but I mean it. If you are thinking about moving here, if you're trying to buy a house for the first time, get a hold of us and we got you. We will absolutely crush it for you. Nobody will work harder for you than we will. You can go to our website, tothetwincities.com. We have a contact form there that you can fill out in like 30 seconds or less, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@tothetwincities.com. They lead to the same inbox, so whatever. It's totally up to you how you do it. We just ask that you do. Ultimately, look forward to helping you, you know, end up where you want to end up. And today's video is a pretty cool one. It's a very, very, very special little neighborhood here in Minneapolis. It's called Linden Hills. I said it at the beginning already, but Linden Hills is a special spot, and we started doing these two separate videos for these neighborhoods. So again, I'm going to say this probably 1,000 times. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you like the two videos? Should we just leave it at one? That's just super long. But today's video, a virtual tour, a walkabout, if you will, through Linden Hills, Minneapolis. So cool. I mean, it's like a duplex, and that is so, so cool. All right, y'all, what do you say we dive in? Virtual tour, Linden Hills, go. All right, friends, right behind us is sort of the intersection of 43rd and Upton. Very much like one of the sort of small commercial cores of Linden Hills. Linden Hills, it has some commercial, but not a ton.
Yeah, you know, kind of family-owned restaurants.
Yeah,
you know, no chains. You know,
very boutique-y and very sort of like intentional in that regard. A super, super like high-end neighborhood in Minneapolis. Sort of, I would say, known to be one of the bougiest, you know?
Yeah, reputation of being,
bougie.
Affluent.
Yeah, for sure. But it is really beautiful and very like, I don't know, idyllic in a lot of ways. And it's actually the only sort of neighborhood in Minneapolis that is contiguous to both B'dai-Makaska and Lake Harriet, aside from the Lakewood Cemetery, which I don't think really counts as a neighborhood.
Nice to walk around though.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful, and the other cemetery is something else
for sure.
It's
definitely a very uptown landmark.
Yeah, and you know there are sort of combinations of, you know, some more like denser areas where it's more of a brownstone sort of style of apartment. but mostly what I think of, what most people think of when they think of Linden Hills, is more of a historic craftsman,
single family homes, a lot of character,
beautiful, like very, very well taken care of, and even large, you know, kind of larger than
by
the
Minneapolis
average
standards, for sure.
Yeah, maybe not compared to a lot of suburban houses, but you're probably more likely to find some very stately houses in Linden Hills than almost anywhere. Maybe Summit Hill, St. Paul would be kind of the alternative.
For sure. So geographically speaking, Linden Hills is kind of tucked in. It's bordered on the north by Bidé-Makaska, on the east by Lake Harriet, and then the south, the boundary is 47th Street, and then on the west it's France, which then goes into Edina.
Yeah, which is all very nice neighborhoods. Super
nice neighborhoods. If you cross 47th, you're in the Fulton neighborhood. Obviously, you've got the lakes on the north and east side. And then, Edina, obviously, you know, very, very nice.
Yeah, very desirable indeed. And it's really like the Morningside neighborhood of Edina, which I think I'm going to do a virtual tour on just the Morningside neighborhood. Because in terms of Edina, it's a chipmunk. It's a very close to this sort of vibe. It's a sort of a city-esque feeling neighborhood in a suburb, and super cool.
But even though we are in Minneapolis proper, it is a very secluded neighborhood. We're looking at the map. It is about 20 to 25 minutes to downtown Minneapolis, and when you're just looking geographically, it's pretty close. It's just because of where it's situated between lakes and Lakewood Cemetery. Just because you are using side roads to kind of navigate and get around, it can take a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's like removed, and we'll talk about this in pros and cons, but it's removed in both an awesome way and a not awesome way.
For sure.
You know, your highway access, not great here, but yeah, the secluded, almost exclusive sort of feeling is very desirable.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it comes across. I mean, these houses are all crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, we're probably 15, 20 minutes to the Minneapolis airport.
You do hear airplanes overhead.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely in the flight path quite often. And then you're probably 25 minutes to downtown St. Paul, so not particularly convenient to there. That said, to the west, maybe like a Minnetonka, Edina, and Eden Prairie, there's a lot of jobs in those areas. And yeah, the access would be better, but you're still a ways from basically the highways you'd be using would be Highway 100, 62 maybe sure. 394, but yeah, none of those are particularly close to this neighborhood. Yeah, the population is 7,700.
Pretty small neighborhood. I mean, when you're looking just on the map, you know, the boundaries are, you know, it's kind of condensed, but it is also very densely populated.
Yeah.
You know, so 7,700 doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a pretty small area.
Yeah. I mean, that density is somewhat palpable when you're here. Like, and there's people walking all the time. It's noon on a Tuesday, and we
run into many
so,
groups.
Yeah, probably more than just about anywhere I've shot.
For sure.
In the middle
of
the day.
A lot of kids.
Yeah. A lot of what feels like nannies. We could be wrong about that, but it feels like there's kind of a lot of that going on. Kind of kids groups. It is, you know, it is summer, but yeah, it's a ton of people walking. It is very walkable. Again, we're just in this awesome neighborhood, and we were just at a little intersection where there are shops and restaurants and a dentist.
The schools here are very good, especially by Minneapolis standards.
Yeah.
Still not among the top 5 in the metro area.
Yeah.
But still very, very strong. Again, compared to the rest of Minneapolis. High school Southwest gets an A.
Probably the best school in all of Minneapolis, or the best high school, I believe.
For sure. And then middle school, Lake Harriet, A-, and then elementary school, also named Lake Harriet, and gets a B+.
Yep, and the kind of weird age ranges compared to a lot of what we see. It's kindergarten through 3rd grade is elementary, or they call it lower, and then there's upper, and that's 4th grade through 8th grade. So it's like kind of 4-year chunks. It's kind of weird, but yeah, something to note.
Sure. And a lot of people do go to charter schools, magnet schools, private schools.
Yeah, very much an area where you'll see that, you know, again, pretty affluent. You know, people are paying very good money for the homes here, to live here, to sort of, you know, dig in roots here. So, you know, with public schools being good, but not, you know, phenomenal, naturally, you're gonna see a healthy bit of that.
For sure, they have the means to, you know, potentially find education that might, you know, suit them better.
Yep, yeah, and we have helped quite a few people who are considering Linden Hills, and you know, the schools are one of the factors, but it's partly a reason that you want to be here. It's also the third most diverse school district in Minnesota, but that's just Minneapolis, so
sure,
of course it would be. But so when you kind of weigh all the things, the scores, the diversity, for some people it's like the perfect mix, but you know, let y'all be the judge of that. But we will let you be the judge of that. We're not going to steer you at all on that stuff. What do we got for homes?
So the median sale price of homes in Linden Hills is $740,000, and then the range that you can find in terms of prices that are currently on the market is pretty crazy. From about $400,000 to about $4 million. So definitely some of the highest priced inventory in the Twin Cities found here.
I mean, we're really close to it right now at where we're walking. The lakefront property on Bademakoska and Lake Harriet is buku, you know. It's always the most expensive homes in Minneapolis proper are pretty much always going to be on one of those lakes.
Absolutely. But if you do have a more modest budget, I mean, there are condo options as low as $140,000 that we've seen, but you're probably looking at, you know, studio apartment, older building,
basement maybe, something like that.
Not studio condo, I meant.
Yeah. But you know, there is a huge range. The housing stock here is like generally very old, but people are also they're scraping, right? So we're seeing people just raising houses and putting in new builds quite a lot in Linden Hills, maybe more than anywhere else in Minneapolis proper. People are doing that here, but luckily I think there's homes that were built basically palatial mansions with tons of character, and smaller, you know, cozier stuff with tons of character that people are holding on to. It's not just turning into...
Yeah, no, I mean, as we've been walking, I mean, there's a new build, but other than that, I mean, it's one in a handful. It's not super common.
I think the priority, the lifestyle, that character is what people are looking for here, and there is a ton of it. Yeah, I think that's all we got. We're gonna go for a drive, show you around a little bit more. I feel like it's so dark out. I did not need these glasses for the last 10 minutes. All right, let's go for a drive. All right, y'all, we are in yet another absolutely amazing part of Linden Hills with beautiful park spaces, and you can't see it, but we're sitting kind of high above Lake Harriet over here. You go down this hill through this amazing park and you're pretty much to the shores of Lake Harriet. It's beautiful. Houses are beautiful. Yeah, one more time, it's beautiful. You know, if you watch these videos, we do this section that we call the For Fans Of section, which is to say, if you like what you see here, then you might want to check out these other areas, as they could be viable options for you. Airplane noise, that's
loudest one yet, I'd
yeah,
say.
for sure loudest one yet. But before I do that, I would just like to say, if you're thinking about moving here, get a hold of us and we will crush it for you. It's what we do, you know, we work our butts off. And yeah, you can go to our website, tothetwincities.com. We have a contact form there that you can fill out in 30 seconds or less, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@tothetwincities.com. They lead to the same inbox, so it's completely up to you how you do it. We just ask that you do. Landscaping on this house is something else.
Wow.
We'll get there, we'll pass it. But yeah, all right, let's dive in. For Fans Of, if you like what you see here, what are some other spots? Let's kick it to you. What do you think?
Sure. The first one that came to my mind, well, actually Jesse thought of it, but I agreed with it, is Kenwood.
The strongest one, I think.
I
right?
think for sure.
Yeah.
Still in Minneapolis, kind of right outside of like what we know as uptown.
Yeah.
But yeah, very similar in terms of price and the quality of homes, or like the
Sort of, yeah,
niceness of homes.
upper echelon, sort of, yeah.
For sure, but also very adjacent to lakes. So
Yeah.
Kenwood would be like the Isles. Here you've got Harriet and Bedamakoska.
Yeah. Yeah, so super, super similar for a lot of reasons. The other one that we're just sort of like, as an aside to that, would be Cedar Isles Dean. It's not a very huge neighborhood. It's a neighborhood that I live in. It's awesome, super biased, but I don't know. I think it's undeniably sweet.
Very similar too.
Yeah, yeah, it has a lot of similarities, close to all the lakes, walkable, some stuff, but not to a ton. So yeah, those are probably the two strongest examples. Then if we're trying to get a little more abstract, I think Matt Groveland in St. Paul is a really good fit.
Neighborhoody, walkable.
Beautiful homes, some like truly remarkable homes, especially along the river.
Yep.
But
no water in terms of lakes that you could walk around, or beaches that you could swim in.
If you want the water, it's the lake, it's the river for sure there, but it's not quite the same experience, you know. So Matt Groveland, maybe a Highland Park as just like a shout out.
We're talking about Excelsior.
Yeah.
Pretty similar in terms, again, if you're talking median sale price, styles of homes, prices of homes. Water adjacent. There you've got Lake Minnetonka, obviously.
Yeah, and it has kind of the cozy little like neighborhoody downtown feel, while still being like quite elevated in terms of like expensive shops, really nice, really good restaurants.
That's
you know, yeah. So it's really similar in a lot of regards. Great schools, like some of the best schools in the Twin Cities, pretty reliably in Wayzata. And then Excelsior too, kind of on the same aside. Very similar for a lot of reasons. We have virtual tours of both of them. Definitely check those out.
Definitely some other neighborhoods in Minneapolis that might not have quite as high a median sale price, but you know, still very, very nice. South Minneapolis, you got the Fulton neighborhood, Armitage, a little bit more accessible. In terms of price.
Yeah, and to the highways too.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, convenient as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still adjacent. I mean, if you lived in Fulton, you're still not very far away from Lake Harriet.
You're gonna have a very similar lifestyle. It's a little, again, a little bougier here, a little more high end, a little more consistently like with the houses, you know? Terrible use of words, a little more. But yeah, and then I think the last one, it almost feels like cheating, but it's Morningside Edina.
Right.
It's immediately adjacent to the west, super similar for a lot of reasons. You'd be sharing a lot of the same shops along 50th and all that. Both places have, you know, access to like 50th and France, although it's not technically within, it's very close. And yeah, just, you know, if you want for sure top 5 schools, maybe Morningside is the move. Probably an even higher median sale price, but yeah, top 5 schools pretty consistently because it is Edina. So I think that's it. I think that's what we got, right? Yeah.
Some good options.
That seems like a healthy list. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you've enjoyed sort of the slew of videos that have come along with this neighborhood. Yeah, give the video a thumbs up. Say what's up to Steve in the comments. And if you haven't yet subscribed, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, cool.
Take care.
See you guys.